I can still smell the warm chocolate chip cookies or pans of fudge cooling on the counter. I can still hear the sounds of Sunday dinner and a gaggle of people of all ages gathered around the kitchen table. The kitchen was my favorite place to be with you, Mom. No matter how foolish I was in my teenage years, giving you more angst than you deserved, especially after being through it 13 other times. We could always find common ground in the kitchen. And each time you asked me to pile cookies into bags to give to my siblings or walk something across the street to a neighbor, even if I fussed about sharing, you demonstrated one of the attributes I admire about you most, your generosity. As you know, the example you set of giving, whether it was fudge, cookies, flowers, soup, quilts, or anything homemade, was one I would teach my own children. And you were always generous with your house as you let countless children move back in, including me and my husband. Your hospitality, always inviting and including anyone who didn't have a place to go. Many of them are in this room, in this place. And your heart, giving the most, even in the hardest of times. This is who I strive to be someone who loves like you do and is generous with what I have. Everything I ever learned about loving my neighbor started with you. Another attribute I came to appreciate much later in life is your deep faith. As so many in attendance can attest, when you lost the house and Dad was in dire straits, your faith and trust in God is what got you through. The faith foundation you laid for all of us was invaluable, even if there were complaints about going to church or Catholic school, attending CCD or confirmation, or not being able to wear jeans on Sunday. I hope you recognize the legacy of faith that you've passed on to us, and that it's now being passed on to the next generation of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Thank you for always making your faith a priority and for grace and understanding as we each live out our own relationships with God. It's hard to get to 90 without a good dose of determination, and determination is one attribute you have in spades, and in hearts, and in clubs, and in diamonds. Our family wouldn't be where we are today without the vehement determination you had to keep us together at all costs. And I'm sure those lucky people who chose to marry us would agree. This is definitely a trait that you handed down. I remember when you had your knee surgery, you were determined to rehab just as the doctor ordered, so that you could make the most of this new lease on life, and you did. Whatever you set your mind to, Mom, you have achieved. From raising a vibrant Irish Catholic family, to building a career in catering, to graduating 14 kids from high school, to growing glorious gardens, and to becoming a master quilter. The legacy that you have left for us is breathtaking. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention what a devoted fan and encourager you are. I know that every one of us is grateful that you not only cheered us on in every sport, program, and endeavor, but also all of the great and great-grandchildren. I think you could probably hold the world record for most sports events, music performances, and graduations attended. And as for me, your support for Alongside, from purchasing copies for your friends to listening or watching every single interview that I have done, it means the world to me. And only a devoted mom does that. Mom, your generosity, faith, determination, and encouragement are the legacy that will live on in each of the lives represented in this room today. Never has a woman been more admired or cherished by her family and friends. And I pray as we celebrate the milestone of 90 years that you would know how deeply loved you are. Here's to a grand celebration.